This review will help you go over how to find the slope from a given t-table or from a graph. But before we get started with how to do that, let's review what slope means. So slope is simply the change in y over the change in x. So what does that mean? We want to see how your point or your values are changing in the y direction and how they're changing in the x direction. So if we're looking at the graph, we want to see how it's moving on the y-axis, and we want to see how your graph is moving in the x-axis or in the x direction. If we're looking at a t-table, how are our values changing in the y and how are the values changing in the x values. So let's go ahead and start with the graph here. We have 2 points. Just to tell them apart, I'm going to make one red and the other one I'm going to leave it black. So again, we're finding the slope. You can call slope m as well. And we're going to see how our graph is moving in the y direction. That means on the y-axis. So you can see the y-axis either moves up or down. I'm going to go ahead and start on the black point. You could start on the red one if you wanted to, but I'm going to go from the black point to the red point there. So if I'm going from the black point to the red one, I need to move up 2 units. So that means that the change in y is going to be positive 2 since I went up. If I go down, then it's going to be negative. And then we're going to see how we're moving in the x direction. So x either moves to the left or it moves to the right. So from the black point, I already went up 2 units. Remember, I'm trying to get to the red point right there. So to get to the red point, I need to move 1 unit to the left. So that means that the change in x is going to be -1 because I went to the left. If I go to the right, that's where my positive values are. But because I went to the left, it's -1 in the denominator. So our slope is 2 over -1. Or if I wanted to simplify even further, 2 divided by -1 is -2. So you can say that your slope is -2 or that your slope is 2 over -1. So that's it for using a graph. Identify 2 points and see how you're going to move from one point to another. Are you going up? Are you going down? Are you going left? Or are you going right? Now for a t-table, we're going to see how our 2 different values for x and y are changing. So in the y, if I want to go from -2 to 0, I have to add 2. If I go from 0 to 2, I add 2. And from 2 to 4, I add 2. So that means that the change in y is going to be +2, since I need to add 2 every time. We'll repeat the process for x. We need to add 4 every time, so that means that the change in x is going to be 4. Let me simplify this fraction. Divide both numerator and denominator by 2, so I get 1/2. So my slope is 1/2. Again, the key information here is to being able to identify that slope is just how your values are changing in the y direction and in the x direction.